So, back from the VGC guide, and this time we're looking at Kommo-o. I think this is like the perfect anti-meta Pokemon, in the fact that it does actually really well against so many Pokemon that are common in the format. But it's balanced by the fact that it utterly loses to the most common Pokemon in the format, in Fluttermane. Like Dragon Fighting, you literally can't hit it with your stabs. And you just get O-code every single time because of your Dragon Fighting being quad weak to Fairy. So I think it's perfectly balanced in that regard. Like, if Fluttermane didn't exist, Kommo-o would be so busted. But it does. Therefore, it's balanced. Which is really nice. But some people play Kommo-o in the way to try and 1v1 the Fluttermane with Kommo-o. And that's not Kommo-o's job. Like, so many people are just going Tera Steel with Iron Head. Yes, you can now maybe OHKO a Fluttermane. You don't really, because they put defense in there. And then they'll actually live the Iron Head regardless. And then Tera Steel... well, if you're Iron Defensing, you can be Sacred Sworded through that, and that's super effective. So then, Kommo-o really wouldn't do very well against something like Chien-Pao. It's supposed to be Chien-Pao. Chien-Pao's quad weak to fighting. So, I don't think Tera Steel's very good, and I don't think Iron Head is very good either. Because you don't want to Tera your Kommo-o. The point is it's an anti-meta typing in Dragon Fighting. Try as much as you can to keep that Dragon Fighting. And if you have to Tera, it's because of another reason, like maybe you need to be immune to Dragon now. You need to stop Sacred Sword hitting through you. It shouldn't be to beat Fluttermane. That should be every single other Pokemon on Kommo-o's side of the field's job, not Kommo-o. But if you have to, Shadow Claw is better than Iron Head. Because Pokemon that beat Kommo-o go for a Tera Ghost. Like, Ghost type is what beats Kommo-o, because you can't Body Press anymore. Iron Head does pathetic damage. Shadow Claw does okay damage. But it's way better than terrible damage. So Shadow Claw is the way to go, for sure, over Iron Head. You hit things like Golden Go. Iron Head, you're walled by Golden Go completely. At least Shadow Claw, you can do a little bit of a chunk. But otherwise, you're mainly just Iron Defense and Body Pressing. That is the role of Kommo-o. Like, this Throat Spray, Clangorous Soul, it's cool. It's not worth it. Don't go for it. The point of Kommo-o is to Iron Defense, Body Press. I think the Fairy is much better than Steel. The abilities as well, all three abilities are great. So it just depends on what your team needs the most. Are you amazing against Amoonguss? You don't need Overcoat? Sure, go Bulletproof. And yes, when you Tera, you're immune to Shadow Ball. But I think the Tera Fairy is really nice in the fact that you're immune to Sludge Bomb. So then you'll be able to take on things like Naris a little bit better as well if you do have to go for your Tera. You take on Glamora very nicely. Because you can resist the Meteor Beam if you're in the fighting type, and then you're immune to the Sludge Bomb otherwise. So, yeah, Bulletproof can be very nice, but don't think of it as, I will beat Fluttermane. Yes, you can turn into a Steel type, and then you do beat Fluttermane, but that's not the point. Try and keep your Dragon Fighting as much as you can. Overcoat is really nice to ignore Amoonguss, mainly Amoonguss and Spore and Rage Powder. Soundproof can be nice. Like, you can switch it in as an Incineroar's trying to go for a Parting Shot, and you can block that, and there's a couple of other sound moves that you can block, but Bulletproof and Overcoat are the best ones. And it will be kind of team dependent on what you need. But it's Body Press and Iron Defense, it's Protect, and then your, I say, fourth move, it's in the second slot. Shadow Claw is probably the best. However, there are plenty of other moves to choose from. This is not a recommended moveset, these are other good moves to have in this Shadow Claw slot, because this move slot is being clicked like 1% of the time. Doesn't really matter. I don't think Iron Head's very good. If you're going with Iron Head to beat Fluttermane, go with Shadow Claw, because you also beat, quote-unquote, Golden Ghost as well. Whereas Iron Head, you're completely walled by that. Flamethrower, that's just like a good defense typing if you're going with fire, so you can get a stab on Flamethrower, and then it's just another way to chip away at things. Like Golden Go will be hit by Flamethrower pretty reasonably, so worth considering. Rock Tomb is probably the only real supportive damaging move that can hit a Ghost type. So, Rock Tomb it is. If you're just going for literally, well, I'm body pressing most of the time, I don't care if I need to, like, actually hit ghosts, I will just chip them so I don't lose to an in-game 1v1. Rock Tomb is a little bit of speed control. Might as well kind of thing. But otherwise, if you fully commit to the fact that this does not beat ghost types, then you free up a move slot to be an extra supportive one. Stealth Rock is very viable on Kommo-o, because you can't find space for Stealth Rock usually on teams. But if you don't care about ghost types and let the partners beat the ghost types, Stealth Rock can become available on Kommo-o because now the move slot is suddenly free. We saw Substitute back a lot in the previous generation, like Body Press, Iron Defense, Substitute Protect was probably the most common Kommo-o that we saw in the previous generation. No reason why it can't be very good now. If you have Substitute, go with Bulletproof, you no longer need Overcoat. Dragon Cheer and Coaching is another way of supporting your partners. So Coaching can make your partners get their defense boost so that they become unkillable while also increasing their damage output. And Dragon Cheer Pair that with something like an Ogerpon, so then you can go for either Follow Me and Iron Defense, and then your body presses are great, or you can go for Dragon Cheer and then potentially crit your Ivy Cudgels, which is quite nice as well. And as mentioned, this is not a worthwhile moveset. It's not even a recommended moveset, because if you're using this, you might as well have gone with the Leftovers one, or with the Iron Defense body press. But the defense is enough investment so that you can Oko an Incineroar, like an expected defense Incineroar, I'm pretty sure, at +2. It's a little bit of speed creep, and then some special defense dump. Basically, if you want faster, drop the special defense until you hit the speed that you want, but you should have at least that much special defense. So, yeah, I think the Kommo-o is actually so well designed, at least for this metagame. Because like I mentioned, the fact that Fluttermane bodies it, but it does so well against everything else, that means it's actually a really, really nice pick.